Alright guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Hatch's Recreational Engineering. So as you can see, we're out cruising around in the Ventura. So I know it's been a hot minute since we've put out a video, but it has not been for lack of work. We have been working on most, if not all, of the projects. So I figured this video, if you didn't guess by the headline, this isn't working. So by the end of this video, I'll explain what I mean there. We're heading over to the other storage garage where the other cars are being stored, and I'm going to give you an update on what's going on with the project cars. But in the meantime, enjoy this cruise in the Ventura that runs flawlessly. Probably one of the most reliable things in the fleet. So we're over here at the garage that I rent, and you can see it's kind of become a shell. Also, in case you were wondering, the Ventura is rocking steelies right now. I took a poll, and we had about 500 or 600 people vote on the poll, and it was super close between the steel wheels and the Pontiac Rallies, but ultimately you guys chose the steelies, so I'm rocking these for a little bit. The Ventura's gone over some changes too. Nothing crazy. The exhaust always hung down too low, so I got that fastened up and it's working way better. It looks better, it sounds better, it's not leaking, it's way better. And I don't know, the car just looks good. The Ventura is a rig. It runs good, it feels good, exhaust is a little droney, but it even sounds good. So I've just been driving this thing, and it's sweet. The throwout bearing needs to be replaced or oiled, or I don't know. I'm gonna try and oil it and see what happens, but the throwout bearing's in rough shape, so we gotta fix that. But overall, pretty decent. Also, I have no headlights because these bulbs are burned out or broken, so gotta get that ironed out. But the Ventura is a solid piece. As you can see, all my normal daily drivers are stashed over here because I've been driving the Ventura and Farmer, the C20. So my normal vehicles are just beached over here, which is fine. As you can see, I've got a subframe back underneath, old sandalwood here, but I have not touched this thing besides pushing it out into the yard here. So this is what's going on with sandalwood. Still looks exactly the same. Well, let's get in the garage here, show you what's going on. Alright, so in the garage you can see the Gremlin has finally moved out of the back corner for the first time in quite some time. It's finally accessible. We have done nothing with this car since the video of us getting it running. Other than your initial video of the Gremlin, you have never seen this car again, besides in the background of other shots and stuff like that. And this motor runs. We've proven it. The Gremlin motor runs. The 304 V8 that's in this thing with a single plane intake manifold and a Holley 2-barrel. It's a weird car. But the transmission was totally jacked, and we found a new transmission for it. So all this thing needs is just everything. It needs the new transmission installed, and then this thing should run and drive. But the brakes are so cobbled on this thing that I know for a fact they don't work, and they definitely need to be totally gone through. So at some point we got to go through this thing. And as you can see over here, the 70 is in quite the state. If you remember the last time we took this thing out, we brought it to a Friday night test and tune. and bolts came out of the water pump pulley and wound up ripping the back of the fan off. Ripped the whole motor apart, and we lost our fan. So we went ahead and started to replace the fan, which Mike has already done here. New fan on the radiator. Luckily it didn't destroy the shroud too bad. And ultimately, with all the work going on my 69, I knew there was no way I was going to get to this car anytime soon. Just from a racing or a season standpoint, I know I don't have the time to race it. So we actually decided that Mike is going to run this car this season. The plan is for him to run these at most, if not all, the nostalgia style events at Island and probably Maple Grove. But since we had to take some stuff apart in the front of the motor and drain the antifreeze out of it to get the radiator and fan out, it just made sense to put a different intake manifold on it. So this car had a single plane on it, and it ran pretty horrible. Also, we have always had issues with it because we never had a kickdown cable hooked up, and it would like roll over. Now, we went ahead and I bought another Chinese dual plane intake manifold. It's like a rip-off of an RPM air gap, and that should make this thing run way better. So that's where this is, like mid intake swap with the fan partially rebuilt. It still needs a plug wired up on here. And then the doors on this car were the worst shape ever. So I ripped the doors off of it because I've got better doors for it. But the better doors for it need to be sanded and painted. So they're at home to be sanded and painted. And basically, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, this car got tore apart. And then this is how it's sat ever since. And yeah, as you can see, it's a disaster. So that is the condition of the cars over here at the storage garage. To sum it up, the 70 is in a million pieces and has to be reassembled because Mike's got racing to do with it. The Gremlin needs the transmission, brake lines, fuel system gone through. We got to drop that tank. It's got 50-year-old varnish in it. It's a disaster. Basically everything over here needs work, especially good old sandalwood here. So let's go back to the house because there's other cars there. Oh, what a unit. All right, sandalwood, we'll see you next time. All right, so now that we're back at the house, we have Farmer, the C20. And you can see since the last time you saw this, it's looking quite a bit better. So these are the original wheels. I sanded and painted them, and they look a million times better. I also removed all the stick-on trim off the side of the truck, and I wet sanded this thing, buffed it, and then hit it with the sweet patina clear coat sauce. And man, the C20 looks good. The C20 also underwent a full tune-up. It's got a new cap, rotor, spark plugs, water pump. I had to do intake manifold gaskets on this thing because it was leaking coolant. But I have been driving Farmer all over the place for probably the last 2 weeks, and this thing just runs so good. And so many people seem to love this thing for some reason. They all get the year wrong. They all think it's a 70s vintage truck, when really it's the 80s, but super, super cool rig. So I've pretty much worked all the bugs out of this thing, and I feel super confident hooking a trailer up to it and hopefully towing all the junk around. Then that leaves us with Hood Rat, which is just sitting here. I think the last time you saw it might have been on a body card over here. put it back on the ground and dragged it out of the way. And this thing is just going to be super backburnered for right now. And then, as you know, the 69. So the 69 has been getting the 427 motor swap, and I have done so much work to this thing. So I've had so many victories and defeats with this car at the same time, and it still is my favorite car out of my entire fleet. But I have definitely been struggling with this thing. But finally I'm at a point, and that's a lot of the reason why I haven't had a video up. There's been so many small issues that turned into big issues that there's just been it's been a roller coaster with this thing. But let me push this thing out and show you where, actually, let me fire this thing up and roll it out and show you what's going on with the 69. Alright, so as you can see, V69 runs and drives, kind of. I took it on its first test drive down the street today, actually.
Dude, this thing's an animal.
You got your gas in it?
I barely touched it.
Got gas in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
That was just...
I barely touched it. The front gets so light.
Did you barely touch it?
I barely touched it.
There's still stuff that we have to work out. Let me tell you, we gave this thing just like an ounce of a pull, and she boogies. She definitely boogies. But there's still a bunch of stuff to get done on this thing, you know, fine-tuning stuff. So let me get you in here and show you what we've done to it, what we still have to do to it, and you know, what's kind of going on. All right, so since the last time you've seen this thing, we have a big beefy transmission cooler. This is a B&M 20,000 BTU transmission cooler, and that should keep our turbo 350 nice and cool. Here's the transmission cooler lines, the fuel line all runs nice along the frame. Beautiful. So it's got an 850 on it. It's an MSD ignition. There's a blaster tube coil. Let me show you. I got this nice bus bar here. There's a fuse in here for the high amp alternator. It's a one wire alternator system. This car has all new wiring from front to back. American Auto wire harnesses. We have wired this entire car, utilizing none of what we had. The car also got chassis certed since the last time you saw it. The interior is in it. My grandfather made these custom door panels, which I think came out killer. And I'm pretty sure this is remnant fabric from his upholstery shop, but it came out super good. He made these pads for the door bars, so Mike's got a nice comfy armrest for the road trip. Also, the racing harness is in here with the bench seat. You know, some more door padding deal over there. The dash is back in it. The bezel and everything is back in it. I looked for one of these tacks forever and ever and ever. This is a Shiftworks tack with the canister style, like bullet deal underneath. So this tack is super accurate and seems to work really, really well and responsive, unlike the factory tack with some of the SS models and stuff. But I still have to straighten the steering wheel out. I've got sun visors in here, which is hilarious. Let me show you what I did with, come on. Okay, so we haven't wired this guy up yet, but I do have a start retard because we plan on locking the ignition system out. It's like an MSD Pro Billet distributor, so we're gonna lock out the ignition timing. So to help start the thing, we'll have this start retard, started saver from MSD. And I mounted the MSD box up here underneath the dash so that you can't see it, but it also isn't being exposed to high heat in the engine bay. I'm probably not gonna run a glove box. I'll just put my information in like a sleeve that I'll mount to the back of the door here. That was the most logical place to put it. What I like about it being there is, oh, I didn't put my wipers back on, but you're able to take this cowl off and the insulators are mounted way in here somewhere. You know, it just looks clean. Look how clean that looks. So I've got my Stuart Warner gauges installed down here. I've got water temp, volt gauge, and oil pressure. I'm running water in it because it's a race car with some VP racing additive stuff. I had to run a regulator in line here because even though the pump, it's 110 gallon per hour pump, even though it's rated at 7.5 psi, it was pushing 9. So I put a regulator in line here and I have that turned down to like 6.5, 7 psi. The first fuel rail that I tried to run, no matter what I did, would leak. Just a mess, just a hot mess. I'm gonna have to get a hook for that. That's the MSD wiring, goes up here under the fender. You know the drill. The fans are on a thermostat. That's the thermostat for the fans. They kick on at 180. Everything is working. What still needs to be done? The line lock still needs to be hooked up. We just wired up the alternator today, and the gauges, I want all the lights. If you saw wires hanging underneath the dash, it's from the gauges. I still want to wire up the lights in them because chances are on drag week we'll be driving this car in the dark. I had to relocate the light switch, which is usually mounted over here. It hit the roll cage, so I had to drill a hole and relocate it over here, but it's the factory switch and it still works exactly like it should. The other thing since the last time you saw this is it's now in race mode. It's rocking the 275 6015s, and I just bought these off a marketplace, which were actually already painted and super cheap. These are Mickey Thompson Sportsman 28 by 7.5s, I think, on a 15-inch weld drag light wheel, which I've done a video before showing the weld drag light with the hubcap trick, but the weight savings on these wheels is insane. Anyway, it's a car. The transmission line fitting has a tiny little leak coming out of it, so I want to get that fixed. I have 2 different valve covers on because the valve cover gasket was jacked up on this side, so I threw the blueprint one back on, but I hate the blueprint valve cover. These are billet specialties, these valve covers, they look sweet. But we're almost there, we're getting there. Some other notable things that I forgot to mention was this car, I built shift linkage for it. If you can see the rod that I made there, it's a stainless rod that goes down to the turbo 350. This is a full manual valve body, and I left it through the column shift. And just off of the test drive, I know for a fact I've got this thing working good. The shifts are like a little 2-finger, boom, boom, boom. It's reverse pattern, so you're pulling away from neutral. Don't have to worry about going past third into neutral, and it just works. It's gonna be super, super rad, and I'm pretty excited to try that out. I've always wanted to have a sleeper version of this car, which is, you know, why we're rocking full interior. There's so much weight we could save if I would let go of the sleeper deal, but I've wanted this car this way my whole life, so it is what it is. You know, so we're rocking bench seat with the harness coming through the seat. We're still rocking super stock look appearing dash. You don't see any MSD stuff sticking out any place. Like, if you were to walk up on this thing as just a car with the hood down and preferably not running because it's pretty damn loud. I tried to muffle it, but it's still pretty damn loud. She's spicy. But if you were just to walk up on it, you would just think that it's a ratty Nova. All right, and now it's time for me to circle back on my statement from the beginning of the video on why things are not working. So I have been working on the 69 like crazy. And because this is a street car that I'm trying to make a race car, everything is super, super hard to fit on this thing. Everything fits insanely close, insanely tight. It barely fits. It's like every little thing was just a massive, massive battle. And I stressed and struggled. This is the most money I've ever spent on a car in my entire life. You know, you guys have been following on the channel. You know, usually we just build jalopies. This is far from it. I mean, it might look like a jalopy, but this is far from a jalopy. This thing is a serious machine. Everything on it is just super, super, it just fought me. Everything on it just fought me like you wouldn't believe. So I've been working on this thing for the last 2 or 3 weeks, just every day after work for hours. And you know, you could see I made progress. From the last time you saw it, I think it was just a motor in a car. Now it's running and driving. So I've never stopped working, but I haven't put out a video in 3 weeks now. And honestly, the reason for that is the vehicles, I need to be able to take a break from something when things aren't going right and move on to a different project. And with the vehicles not being on site, and with this one being where it was at in the process, not being able to run, it just made that so hard. Even the Janko, you guys haven't even seen the Janko in this video because the Janko is being stored at a friend's garage like 40 miles from my house. It's just not working. Having the vehicles all spread apart and only the single car garage, trying to produce weekly content for you guys, it's just not working in the current scenario. So here's the plan to fix this. So I have talked to my beautiful, wonderful wife, Rebecca, and we have come up with the plan to build a shop. This is my backyard, and I need a shop. I need something where we can bring the vehicles home, and I can be able to bounce from one project to the next, depending on, you know, budget, time frame. There's so many factors. This thing cost tons of money. It's a financial disaster, but it's so cool. Just look at that thing. But anyway, so I need to be able to switch gears from project to project. And not that I'm complaining about the other shop that we're renting right now, but all of my tools are here. So every time we go there, I try to round up everything I think I might need, and it's pretty much a guarantee that every single time I go there, I'm missing something, and then I have to come back here and then go back there. And I'm not trying to complain, because honestly, I am super grateful for the stuff I have, the friends I have, the opportunities that have been presented. So I'm not trying to sound ungrateful here, but to produce weekly content for you guys, which is what I'm trying to do here, I need to be able to bounce from one project to the next, because automotive content is expensive. So we're going to be putting in a 30 by 40 shop. It's still being decided by my wife if it's going to be coming up here at the end of like my current driveway area, or if it's going back here. But we're going with a 30 by 40 metal building that you know, will have electric and water and insulation, and should be an ideal shop. So I already have zoning approval. We're working with the site prep company and the building company, and hopefully in the next couple weeks, maybe the next 2-3 months, we'll have a shop. And then most of the vehicles can come home. So now that I feel like I've overcome a massive hurdle of struggling with the 69, it seems like all the stuff that was fighting me so hard is finally working, and now it's just a matter of buttoning up some of this smaller stuff. We should be able to get back to that weekly content schedule. It's still going to be a little bit tough because this will primarily be at my house garage, and we'll probably be traveling to work on the other cars, but it is what it is. We should have a shop here pretty soon, and that should alleviate some of that burden. Another thing too is you guys have messaged and commented about any sort of merchandise. We have a merchandise order in. We have gone ahead and ordered hoodies, crew necks, and t-shirts. So I'll post a picture, insert a picture here of what we've ordered. we're going to be selling through a website. I'll post the link in the description for that stuff as soon as that merchandise is here. But the order is in. Merchandise is coming. So if you guys want to support the channel and the content and help make things a little bit easier for us, feel free to buy a... I'm not trying to talk anybody into it, but if you feel so inclined to help us out, please buy some merch, and that would make a huge difference. But that's gonna go ahead and do it for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments which projects you guys want to see next, because we've got a lot of work in the works and a lot of work left to do. So I'm hoping that this spring brings some good racing for us. We're hoping to get the 70 back with Mike driving it, and the 69 will be making passes Memorial Day weekend. So drop something down in the comments, and we will see you next time.